What looked like a safe house for society's forgotten was actually hiding a secret so dark. The roses in the front yard weren't the only things buried deep. Behind the walls of a charming Victorian home in Sacramento lived a woman with silver hair, soft eyes, and a deadly agenda. They called her kind. They even called her sweet. But no one called her what she truly was, a serial killer hiding in plain sight. This isn't fiction, it's a true story of deception, disappearance, and death. Welcome to Criminal Library TV. I'm your girl, Linda. And today, we are pulling back the curtains on one of America's most chilling true crime cases. And this is the murder she didn't write. Let's dive in. So, picture this Sacramento, 1988. Just a regular street, nothing fancy, but right there on F Street, there was this quiet little Victorian house, pale blue, with roses in full bloom at front. Pretty, right? But hold on. Those roses, they were more than just decoration. Something was buried deep underneath them, and I don't mean fertilizer. Inside that house lived this elderly woman, Dorothea Puente. Grandma vibes, glasses, soft smile, hair always neat. The type you would probably greet with, "Good afternoon, ma." But listen, that woman, she was a whole plot twist. Dorothy opened her doors to people society had thrown away. People like addicts, folks battling mental illness, the homeless. Her place was like a last resort for the forgotten. Sounds kind, right? Except some of them who checked in never came back out. No noise, no complaints, no investigations, just silence and roses that somehow kept blooming. Word. Just wait, it gets darker. You know, before she became Dorothy Punnett, the sweet old lady with a dark secret, she was just a little girl named Dorothy Helen Gray, born way back in 1929. And honestly, her story started off sad, like real sad. Her dad died of tuberculosis. Her mom, an alcoholic, died in a drunk driving crash not long after. Just like that, by the age of 9, Dorothy was an orphan. You would think the foster system would protect a kid like that, right? Nope. She disappeared into it. No hugs, no therapy, no comfort, just strange beds, strange faces, and the kind of silence that bruises more than fists ever could. She kept getting passed around. No one stuck, no one stayed. And by the time she turned 16, my girl had already made up her mind. No one is coming to save me, so I will save myself. That's when she decided to become whoever people needed her to be. Sweet, innocent, soft-spoken, or dangerous. Whatever got her fed, whatever got her ahead. And trust me, she was just getting started. So here is the thing. The con didn't start with a shovel. It started with a wedding ring. Yep. Dorothy got married young, and not just once, oh no, 5 times, 5 husbands. Now, you would think after the first or second divorce, she would chill, right? Wrong. Some disappeared, some filed for divorce, and a few, well, they just dropped dead. But let's not jump ahead. To the outside world, she was Mother Teresa with a casserole. But behind closed doors, Sis was writing fake checks, running poker nights with babes and city officials, and changing names like outfits. At one point, she even called herself Sharon Johnson. Like, girl, pick a name and stick to it. But truth is, she wasn't just hiding, she was practicing. Every forged signature, every fake identity, every sweet little lie, it was all a rehearsal for what she would later pull off at that house on F Street. And trust me, the real show hadn't even started yet. In the early 1980s, Dorothy opened what looked like a safe haven, a cozy little boarding house on F Street in Sacramento. To the world, it was a place of second chances. She took in those society had tossed aside: recovering addicts, the mentally ill, the elderly, people with nowhere else to go. And Dorothy, she played that part perfectly. Warm smile, big hugs, Sunday soup. But behind that sweet grandma energy was a house full of rules. When I mean rules, I meant strict rules. No visitors, no phone calls, all their mail came through her. Some of the tenants said they felt watched. One even swore she saw Dorothy digging in the yard at 3 a.m., whistling. But who would believe them? These weren't people society listened to. So when they started to disappear one by one, nobody asked questions. Nobody even looked, not until it was way too late. So it always started with soup, potato leek, always the same, always just a little salty. Some of the tenants said it made them sleepy. Others, they didn't get the chance to say much at all. One man stopped coming to dinner entirely. When the social worker asked Dorothy where he went, she smiled and said, "Oh, he moved out to be with family." Hmm. But one tenant said he heard choking through the wall that night. Another woman swore she found a plastic bag in the trash with strands of hair and blood. But what could they have done? They needed a roof more than they needed the truth. So they said nothing. And Dorothy, she kept smiling, kept serving that same soup, kept everyone quiet. So the sun was setting over 1426 F Street, casting long shadows across the porch. But something didn't feel right. So social worker Judy Moyes had come to check up on one of her clients, Alvaro Montoya, but he was gone. No notes, no goodbye, just gone. And Dorothy, she had her usual calm, sugary explanation. He left to visit family, she said. But Judy wasn't buying it. She has seen too much. So she did what no one else had done. She called the police. Officers arrived at the house, and who greeted them? Sweet Dorothy, with her glasses, soft voice, and grandmother hat fully in place. She chatted with them like nothing was wrong. They were just about to leave when one of the tenants, John Sharp, did something incredible. He slipped a folded piece of paper into one officer's hand. It said, "She's making me lie for her," unquote. Just like that, everything shifted. The cops came back, this time with eyes wide open. And when they looked out at the backyard, they saw it. Patches of disturbed soil. They grabbed shovels, started digging. And what they found was not what they were prepared for: a body buried in a shallow grave. Then another and another. Forensic teams were called in. The backyard turned into a crime scene. But while everyone was focused on the horror in the ground, Dorothy quietly leaned over to a cup and asked, "Can I step out for a cup of coffee, please?" They let her. And just like that, my girl vanished. Okay, now tell me, how does someone just disappear while police are literally digging up bodies in her backyard? Because that's exactly what Dorothy did. Picture it. Full crime scene, officers everywhere, tension in the air, and she calmly asks, "Can I step out for a cup of coffee?" And they actually said yes. She walked out and never came back. But make no mistake, she wasn't panicking. She was plotting. She checked into a motel like it was just another day. dyed her hair, changed her outfit, and started going by a new name, Donna. Like what? Donna. Then she hit the bar scene, smiling, flirting, acting like nothing had happened. Meanwhile, the entire city was looking for her, but it didn't last long. One man at the bar recognized her from the news. He kept it cool, called it in, and just like that, the police walked in, calm and collected. No shouting, no chase. They arrested her right there, quietly, like a ghost, finally caught in the light. Now this is where it gets wild. The year was 1992. The courtroom was packed. Cameras, reporters, you name it. Everyone came to see the soft-spoken grandma accused of being a cold-blooded serial killer. Dorothea Puente sat there, quiet as ever, glasses on, hair neat. Sis was literally knitting while people described how she murdered her tenants. I mean, knitting. The persecution didn't hold back. They called her a predator in Paris, someone who targeted the vulnerable just to cash their checks. Meanwhile, her lawyers, they painted her as misunderstood, said she was just scared, lonely, doing her best. Really? Doing her best? Well, the jury took 24 hours to decide. And when they came back, it was a mixed bag. Guilty of 3 murders, but not the full 9. The others, officially unsolved. Still, that was enough to lock her away for life. And just like that, Grandma Punet, our dearly loved grandma, traded her cozy home on F Street for a cold concrete sale. So, what happens when a serial killer grandma gets locked up for life? You would think she had faded into the background, right? No, not Dorothy. She ended up at the Central California Women's Facility. Life sentence with no parole. But guess what? Even in prison, she was thriving. She wrote poetry, played cards, charmed other inmates like she was still running a little boarding house, just with bars and bunk beds. Some even said she was kind. Can you imagine? And through it all, she kept saying the same thing. I never killed anyone. Not once did she confess. Not a single I'm sorry. To her last day, she stuck to the story. I never killed anyone. Was Dorothy Pune a cold-blooded killer hiding behind a grandmother's smile? Or a lonely woman shaped by heartbreak, survivor, and silence? Her story shocked Sacramento and the nation. But even now, some things just don't add up. The timelines, the gaps, the secrets that never made it to court. Maybe, just maybe, this was the murder she didn't write. If this story left you thinking, hit like, subscribe, and turn on your notification. Remember, I'm your girl, Linda, and this is Criminal Library TV.